Hello everyone and welcome to our day 3 final day Sunday coverage of London Comic Con.
Yes, we're done.
Emanating from London Aunt.
Yes.
And unfortunately we didn't get around to doing that much today in terms of the con.
I mean, Sunday was just a day with fewer things scheduled just on the schedule.
Yeah.
And so inevitably we weren't
There were
going to do
fewer
as
things
much.
that we were interested in.
And we were tired.
Yeah,
and
even
so we really only did like one thing of, or two things of note today.
Turns out even when you can go home every night from a con, it's still sort of tiring.
Oh, it is. Oh my god.
All that walking around and looking and
buying. And sitting and watching movies.
And then getting up and walking around again. But yeah. So we got there. It's time to see the Junior Cosplay competition.
So, I don't know what Junior technically was. We figured it was probably 12 and under based on how old the kids looked.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cute.
Yeah, it was
cute. It ranged from just sort of like little child in a princess dress who wanted to get up on stage.
Yeah.
To like seriously impressive costumes. And I don't know like what the rules were like parental involvement.
Yeah,
either way, some of these costumes were straight up impressive, even if they were adult costumes.
Yeah, I'd say one of the big factors is like willingness to get up on stage regardless of like the quality of their costume.
Yeah,
so they wanted to do it because there were a few that were like, we dressed our child in that, like who had like little babies and stuff.
I mean, there was it Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm calling like everything that's got like an elaborate coat.
I think the MC said Assassin's Creed.
It was a family. It was really, really sweet. The baby was maybe a couple of months old because
like,
it was like
still in arms,
like and tiny and not doing literally anything. And they had a little coat for it, and then the mom and dad were dressed up as like they had the whole outfits on, and it was too precious by half.
Yeah.
There were a couple of links, which were sweet.
Yeah.
And there were princesses because, of course, there were princesses.
Right.
I don't want to focus too much on like the less good costumes because these are kids, and it was still
the fact that
charming.
The fact that they're doing something, getting up on stage is great.
It was still extremely charming, regardless of their costume.
There's the kid who was Tony Stark, who was really good.
That kid had like the personality.
He had the attitude nailed down.
He had so much attitude. I loved him.
Because they're like, oh, like pose for photo, and he like put the glass down.
And then he did like the hand pulses, and it was really sweet. He was like maybe 8 or so.
Yeah, he was really good.
And then the impressive costumes, like the particularly impressive ones. I'm remembering the finale, but like what were there was a couple other ones. There was one. What was the video game? The creepy doll or whatever? Oh,
from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was really well done. And I guess something kids might play. I was kind of surprised to see someone, because I'm pretty sure this wasn't something that it was like their dad or something got them do, because it was like...
It was maybe a bit of an older kid. Obviously, you couldn't really tell what the kid looked like.
All you could tell was their height.
They were a tall kid. Oh my god.
But it was like the rest of it was one of the creepy characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, and they looked pretty good.
And then there was the Meowth costume,
which was great.
Handmade Meowth, like big dead mouse type head. We had seen. I saw him yesterday, and looked great.
His parents weren't dressed as Team Rocket, were they?
If they were, I never saw them, and that's kind of too bad.
Yeah.
There was. That's terrible. We should write these things down. Like I said, a couple of links. They were great. Okay, I can't remember. So we'll just talk about the last one. Yeah. The finale was another like elaborate, needed help getting up the stairs costume.
Yeah.
Like a slightly larger than life-size Dalek.
Yeah, it was great.
And like you could tell it was handmade. Mm-hmm. And it was maybe a little bit taller than a Dalek usually is, because it looked like the kid was standing inside of it so that it could move.
But it looked like it rolled.
Yeah, it looked like it was on wheels, but he probably like Flintstone style moved it around. Great.
But I gotta
believe
that this kid put a lot of work into making that thing too.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I think it was like just made out of like cardboard or something like that, and then painted. It looked great.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I had that kind of skill because it was great.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't find out who won because
I'm assuming it was the kid.
We went to get food.
Costume.
We assume it was the kid, but they're all winners.
They're all winners.
That's right.
I mean, they all went up and had their little personality, and there was a Deadpool. There was a kid
good,
pool, and he had like a lot of like moxie, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody was fun.
Yeah.
And we instead went and got sliders from the early bird, which I think we've talked about before, or if not.
Yeah. They had little things set up serving pork sliders and duck sliders. We both had duck sliders, and they were
really good.
Fantastic. It was the first time we'd ever had like lunch food from the early bird.
Yeah, because we always go there for breakfast, and it's incredible. And we went there yesterday for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's what we did instead. And then we saw, like, we'd done another lap of the con as well, and didn't buy anything.
Sort of got all our buying out of our system yesterday.
Like first thing in the morning yesterday. So the last thing we did was we went and saw the showing of a movie called 88.
Yes.
With Christopher Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Canadian indie film.
I think I know there's some London connection to it.
Yeah,
but I don't know what the connection
studio is. We missed a bunch of the preamble. There was supposed to be a preview reel, and there was a Q&A. We came a little bit later to the con today because
we had other stuff we wanted
to do, and there wasn't anything that we were super interested in first thing. So we missed some of that. So maybe we would have known. But we sat down and watched this movie. Mm-hmm. And what were your thoughts on the movie?
I had mixed feelings. I thought mechanically it looked quite good. Mm-hmm. Cameras liked everything. Like compared to some of the short films we saw, this looked very professionally done.
Yeah.
And like, the directing, the lighting, the framing, all that stuff.
The technical aspects were fine.
Looked pretty good, but I found I got very confused with the chronology, and that may have been because we didn't come in right as the movie began, and that may have helped. But it seemed like there's a lot of confusing little niggles to the plot that I had trouble following. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it would have been better or not.
Well, I mean, the main plot device was amnesia. It was one of those movies where you're following your main character, and they have blacked out at some point, and they've forgotten the events preceding where you meet them, and and then they're dealing with the repercussions of those events. And so, I mean, it was like deliberately confusing. Yeah. I didn't care for it.
Like it was in the style like a pulpy sort of grindhouse kind of movie, but
yeah,
it's not the type of movie that I would normally watch. But like give it a shot. We saw a few movies over the weekend. We wanted to get one more, and it was probably not something I'd watch again. It was interesting to watch, but ultimately I found it kind of frustrating. Yeah,
I'd agree. It was. I mean, the acting itself was fine.
Christopher Lloyd in particular was
especially.
He was like a coked up strip club owner.
And he was appropriately like sleazy.
Yeah, and he was great. It was great. It was fun to see Christopher Lloyd doing that sort of role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think I had an issue with really any of the acting. It was maybe the writing and maybe the direction that I'd take more exception with. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily see it again.
No,
I don't want to say too much in the way of negative stuff about this movie. It was just
like I feel like there would be a lot of people who really do like it. Like it's
I felt like it went on a touch too long because I know I leaned over to you at one point in time and said, like, have we finished killing people yet? Like, we've run out of people to kill, because it was just one of those like rampage type things where it was just going and mowing down people, and it just like got a little bit like, oh well, here's another person standing in our main character's way. They're probably going to die.
Yeah. And
like the twist wasn't much of a twist, I found. And
yeah, well.
But I mean, again, it looked very professional, and if you're interested in the kind of movie where, like the pacing was mostly fine, and there was a lot of like if you're into that sort of mistaken identity, grindhouse type feel, I say go ahead and see it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a type of movie that we usually are huge fans of, and so obviously we're not going to be the best
judges.
The best judges are the ones who are going to recommend it. But I mean, there was nothing wrong with the movie. Like, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't poorly acted or poorly paced or anything.
I think ultimately it's not our kind of movie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So that basically wrapped up the con.
Yeah, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So, final thought time.
Final thoughts.
I guess. Okay, I thought it was fun. I'm more glad that it was there than if it wasn't. It was nice to go. It's nice to get a little bit of nerd culture to see,
like local nerd culture.
Yeah, to see what like if we found out about places that are around that we didn't realize existed until went to the con, which is nice. And being able to see all the wares that you don't normally see in your average shop, and to see people in costume was really fun.
Yeah,
to know people that are out there that are really enjoying things. It was not a very big one. It felt, as I said, it felt like a fair, but like a nerdy fair.
I think I ended up chatting with a girl in one of the booths yesterday, and I guess she'd gone to the previous year, and she said it was bigger than last year. So that bodes well, that it's getting bigger. There's probably getting more vendors. They're getting more celebrities. I mean, Ron Perlman is by no means a small name.
No.
So it's definitely getting bigger. I'm curious to see what it would be like next year if we're still here next year. I don't know if I'd make a special trip yet if I wasn't in London.
But if we're still here, I'd say we probably would
go. My summation of the amount of stuff that was there is that it was probably a 2-day con they put into 3 days.
Yeah, there might have been.
It wasn't a 1-day con like the way Forest City is going to be next month, but it was a 2-day con that probably could have dealt with just a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, is maybe if they had one more room in order to do some everything that was on the schedule, they could have arranged. And
I was saying that because there was definitely gaps yesterday where, I didn't really like anything that was on in either of the rooms or on the main stage and then in the one room, but there was something I missed earlier in the day because I was at a different thing.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to have like a third stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe next year they will.
Maybe next year they will.
Yeah. Because the building that they're in, there is room for them to grow into more of the building. Like
absolutely.
They were just in one part of it.
Well, but there was another convention, or not convention, but there was a bridal expo actually in the adjoining building. So. Yeah,
I mean that's true. But like if they expand, they can there's lots of places for them to take over on the fairgrounds.
There's room. For me, I liked it. It was my first con. It was a nice way to test the waters. I know I've said this the last 2 videos. It's definitely encouraged me to cosplay and definitely renewed my motivation for getting together the cosplay that I do have on the go and thinking about ideas for other cosplays, because this is probably Forest City is probably going to be my first and last opportunity for the year. And I don't think there's much after that till the spring. So I've got 6 or 8 months to get things together in case I want to go to whichever. If I want to go to Anime North, or if I want to go to Hamilton.
There's Con Bravo.
Or if even we feel really ambitious and we want to go to Fan Expo.
Yes. So
and then London will come around again.
There's lots of opportunities for that.
But I saw a lot of good movies. That was the main thing I did this weekend. It was almost like a film festival for me because I mostly watched movies. But that is the thing I like. So it was a lot of really good movie watching, a lot of good people watching. Yeah. Got some good merch. It was a positive experience. I'm pretty sure I got my money's worth. Which was the main
I think so, yeah.
And then I guess the only other nerdy thing that we did this weekend is you picked up The Flash.
I got the first season of The Flash.
Not at the con.
We went to the mall. But, there are people in 2015 making a live-action TV show about my favorite comic book character, so I need to let them know that this is a good thing via my dollars. Yes. So, yeah. Yeah. So
I think that's pretty much it to wrap up. What are you doing with those scissors?
That concludes London Comic Con 2015.
Mine?
Yep. There we go.
All right. So that was it for our weekend. Mm-hmm. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, queries, anything else that sort of starts with a
I always start that list with praise. But,
praise is good too.
But yes, that about covers it.
If you liked our videos, if you liked us, if you didn't, I guess that's fine too, as long as you retweet it and then other people watch it and then we get more people watching.
Yeah, so the next time we'll be appearing in a video like this, we'll be covering Forest City Comic Con with T and the Goat.
But we will, if you are also following the Nickscast, we also will be doing this week's update of our Doctor Who podcast, who are in review tonight, and probably will be posted either tonight or tomorrow for the... No, not the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
The Witch is Familiar.
Witch is Familiar. We will be talking about that tonight with Z and Soph, right? Z and
Soph, yep.
Yes.
There will be, once it returns for the new season, we'll be covering the CW verse, Arrow and Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow when it starts in the spring. There'll be a Pop Culture New Business, and October is Time Travel Month. So we're going to have a couple episodes dealing stuff about time travel.
And if you want to see me talk about the shows that apparently only I watch, which include Once Upon a Time, Grimm, Gotham, I think that's it. You can totally message the Nickscast and say you want to hear more of me. Encourage me to do a thing.
Yeah.
And we may also have more projects coming up where we are reviewing other things we watch, because apparently that's what we do with all our time.
That's what we do now. We
watch a thing and then we tell you about it.
Lay our lives bare so that you may be entertained.
We invite you into our apartment multiple times a week.
Yes.
And it's fine because I don't have to clean it.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.